From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We're still incredibly warm outside this Wednesday evening in some locations. 87 degrees in Lansing. We're at 83 for our current temperature in Mason. Notice we're falling down into the mid to upper 70s in places like Ionia and Marshall, all because of those scattered showers and thunderstorms that we are still dealing with. Not a whole lot of activity on live Storm Tracker 6 Doppler radar, but it does look like one of the strongest storms that we have across the region, currently over in portions of Ionia County. We're holding on to the chance for precipitation as we go throughout the rest of the evening. A few strong storms will be possible tonight. Then we have a lot of dry weather and some lower humidity to talk about starting tomorrow. 6 News at 5:30 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5:30.
Right now at 5:30, sentencing for nearly a dozen teens accused of going on a machete rampage. Plus, plants can talk and research shows insects are listening. And GM shifts production of 3 vehicles to a Michigan assembly plant. Those stories and a lot more, and all in the first 6 minutes. Thank you for joining us this evening. I'm Siobhan Klepfer. Let's start that clock, and we begin with an update in the case of a young boy who was killed in a hyperbaric chamber explosion in Troy. This week in court, attorneys for the CEO charged in his death tried to argue that police might have broken the law while investigating their client. Tamala Peterson was the owner of the Oxford Center where the explosion happened. She's facing second-degree murder. 3 other employees are also facing charges. 5-year-old Thomas Cooper died back in January when something caused the chamber to explode. Well, this week in court, Peterson's attorneys argued police might have illegally looked at communications between Peterson and her lawyers when they examined her computer, but the judge in this case disagreed.
Nothing in here that outright gave the court any indication that this information that was cited came from these privileged communications between Ms. Peterson and her attorneys.
Hyperbaric chambers are devices with legitimate medical uses, but they're also used by some businesses for treatments that have no basis in scientific evidence. In Texas, the state's Department of Public Safety just announced an 18-year-old man planned an attack on Independence Day events in the Amarillo area. Officials say Kevin Hunt posted on social media about self-harm and wanting to carry out a mass casualty attack. He was detained by police on July 2nd, and the investigation is continuing. 10 teenage boys in the United Kingdom were sentenced today to a combined 34 years in prison for going on a rampage with a machete and other bladed weapons. It happened in June of last year. 2 people were seriously injured. The boys all pleaded guilty. In Gaza today, 20 people were killed in a stampede at a food distribution site run by the American organization, the Gaza Humanitarian Fund. That is according to that group. 19 people were trampled and 1 person was stabbed to death. The organization accused the militant group Hamas of creating panic without evidence. In the Russia-Ukraine war, Russia attacked 4 Ukrainian cities overnight, injuring at least 15 people. Ukrainian officials say 400 Russian drones and missiles targeted energy infrastructure. On Monday, President Donald Trump set a September 2nd deadline for the Kremlin to agree to a peace deal. Mr. Trump threatened severe sanctions if that does not happen. Combat readiness is on display in Taiwan's capital this week as the military police carried out war games. Troops practiced using Taipei's metro system to move munitions like Stinger missiles through the city. They also rehearsed reinforcing positions at train stations. The main stage at the annual Tomorrowland Music Festival caught fire today, only 2 days before the start of the show in Belgium. Social media users posted video of the fire showing columns of smoke and fireworks going off as the stage burns. The Electronic Music Festival was expected to host about 400,000 people over 2 weekends. Back here in the U.S., President Trump lashed out at his MAGA base today. Mr. Trump's supporters are among those who want a full release of files connected to alleged sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein. President Trump calls the case a hoax. He referred to his supporters as, quote, weaklings on his personal social media platform. Epstein was found dead in his New York jail cell in 2019 after his arrest on sex trafficking charges involving minors. The U.S. Department of Education has opened an investigation into the University of Michigan. In June, 2 Chinese scientists linked to the university were separately charged with smuggling biological materials into the United States. Investigators are demanding financial records from the university, along with information about research collaborations with foreign institutions. An update from General Motors tonight. The automaker says its Orion assembly plant will be where they make the Cadillac Escalade, Chevy Silverado, and GMC Sierra in the future. Last month, the Detroit-based automaker announced it was investing $4 billion into 3 facilities, including in Lake Orion. The career-based social media site LinkedIn says Grand Rapids is the #1 city on the rise. On Tuesday, LinkedIn released its first Cities on the Rise list of the top 25 affordable cities with growing job markets. LinkedIn says GR's growing tech and insurance industries put it in the top spot. Researchers in Israel shook up the science world a few years ago when they discovered plants can talk, and now they've learned that insects are listening. Scientists found female moths can detect ultrasonic distress signals sent by tomato plants when they're dehydrated. High-pitched clicks act as warnings, telling insects to steer clear of stressed plants and look for safer places to lay their eggs.
Now we wanted to see if they understand if this is stress, because they don't want to lay their eggs around a dying plant. They want to lay their eggs around a healthy plant.
Researchers set up an experiment with 2 healthy plants, one silent, the other playing recorded stress signals, and moths consistently chose the quieter plant. Interesting. Well, take a look at this. A volcano in Iceland's Reykjanes Peninsula erupted once again today, belching smoke and glowing lava in the latest in a series of activity. A fissure about half a mile long formed in the Earth's crust as magma was forced to the surface. From fire to water, a dolphin named Lucky found herself stranded in a lagoon in South Carolina on Saturday. Lucky is well known to locals there and was spotted in the lagoon. She likely entered during high tide. After being carried out about 75 feet by firefighters and others, she was released into deeper water with no injuries. And flipping over the card for our first 6 minutes of news, the toy company Mattel promoted Uno social clubs across the country back in May, which are sponsored gatherings where people can enjoy the family card game. One of them is inside the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas, but this week the sports betting company DraftKings posted on social media incorrectly that Uno was going to be a table game played for real money. More than 3 million people saw that post. DraftKings has since issued a correction. Not a big gambler, but I mean, I would go to play Uno and try to win some money. I feel like I might have a little chance.
There's a chance, but even outside of money, Uno games have always been very heated.
Oh yeah.
When I'm a part of it, so once you add money to the equation,
right.
I feel like
have some security.
Yeah, you need heightened security for that one.
I don't know how they would pay out with that game, but anyway, oops, that was sort of a oopsie.
A little oopsie daisy there.
Yeah.
Well, our weather today, really not exactly fun. We're keeping an eye on a line of showers and thunderstorms to our west. It could bring some strong to severe storms to the area this evening.